Miss Diaz, tell us a little bit. Tell us what you want us to know. Pretty much like all of the ladies. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, and we'll go on from there.
Alrighty. Well, hello everyone. Good afternoon. I'm actually, honestly, first of all, I want to just give honor to Cashapp for putting this together. I want to say thank you to the ladies on the stage. I thank you guys too for just showing up and just being survivors of everything you've been through, and just, I love wisdom. I'm a woman I'm 29 years old, but I always pray for wisdom. Because I understand that wisdom is what's going to help me get through, right? So being wise is not knowing it all, but it's just learning from other people and what they've been through and applying it to your life. So I just want to thank you, ladies, Tamika, and everyone for just sharing. So my name is Yocairys. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Yocairys. I'm 29 years old. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I recently moved to Houston about 2.5 years ago. No family, no friends, $2,000 in my pocket. I just had faith, and that's all I need, and I knew that's all I needed. God is so good, and He's so faithful. So just a quick, I know you're probably going to ask me what was the biggest thing that I've been through in my life, and for me, it's so funny because right now I'm talking to y'all, but I'm still where we were at when we were worshiping. I'm still there. Like this whole time I'm sitting here, I'm here, but I'm still in that moment of worship because that's honestly my safe place. I love to worship. We were created to worship, and honestly, for me, what has helped me through just all these 29 years of just my life and things that I've been through is just being in His presence. So for me, at the age of 17, if y'all want to know the full story, I don't have a book yet, but y'all can go to YouTube and just hear my full testimony. But at the age of 17, I was facing 25 to life in prison. I ended up serving 5 years in prison. And so after serving time in prison, the first thing that occurred was I had an encounter with Christ. And that encounter was, I knew it was Him because naturally the human mind wouldn't work that way. And so I'm here sitting in this jail cell and I'm just like, Lord, I literally dropped to my knees. And sometimes God has to pull you away from everything so that all you have is Him kind of thing. And so I remember just saying, Lord, I don't understand what's going on. And I later understood that His ways are not my ways and His thoughts are not my thoughts. And so I understood that He was getting ready to do something in my life, because one of the signs of knowing that God's getting ready to shift is when you experience famine. When things start to dry up in your life, when things start to dry up and things are not just making sense, that's a sign that God is getting ready to do something in your life. And so at 17, I said, Lord, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you're getting ready to do, but I trust you. And at that point in my life has changed. And y'all see me here now, and I think I'm so overwhelmed. I'm like just joyful and grateful because I'm not supposed to be up here pouring life into people, right? Because the way that society painted me out to be, I mean, murderer, that's this, monster. And that was a title that the world gave me. But when I went in and I surrendered my life to Christ and He gave me a new identity, I struggled with it. I'm not gonna lie, I struggled with it for a little bit. But one thing I love about God is that He won't leave you alone. He's never going, once He calls you, He began a good work, so He's going to finish it. And so anytime I come on stages and I have the opportunity to share my testimony, it's number one, to glorify and honor Him. Aside from my testimony, I'm a strategic growth mentor. I help people grow their faith. I help you grow your social media and your income. But the main thing about me that I love to do is to just give people a message of hope and just letting them know that your past does not define you. If He did it for me, He will do it for you. And now the Lord is using me as a vessel because I surrendered to Him. I said, you know what, Lord? I'm tired of running from you. Because you can't run from God. And that's something I learned very quickly. As much as I have an organization. It's called Raise Your Spark. And it's pretty much a platform where I help women overcome adversity and grow in their faith, and I mentor, and I do a lot of things. And it wasn't something that I woke up one day and said, I want to do this, but it was something that God called me to do. And so I love God because all I did was show up. Even when I felt like I wasn't worthy, I'm like, you know what, God, this makes absolutely no sense. I'm showing up, and every time I show up, He shows out. And so honestly, I can say so much right now, right? But I don't really want to talk much about what I've been through because we've all been through something, right? We all have a story. But what I want to say is get to know Him and build a personal relationship with Him. And I love God so much I could cry because, like I said, when I couldn't love myself, He loved me. And that's why I love Him so much, because the love that surrounds me is just out of this world. And I know, Coach, you experienced it when you came to my event. I had an event last year. It was one of my biggest events ever in New York, and my family was there. And just seeing the smile on my parents' face, just being able to just really not just experience his love, but walk around and be the love that he is to other people is truly what makes me happy. And so if I had to leave, I feel like they all said a lot of amazing things. So I want to just end it with the fact that get to know him, build your identity in him. Because trying to build identity with material things, those things don't identify you. So trying to think and assume that, as you mentioned, performing is a way to get through the world, you're dying a slow death, honestly. And so for me, I find if you see me on Instagram, I'm myself. What you see on Instagram is what you're gonna see in person. I don't just worship and do this for show. I don't perform. I'm not here to act. This is really who I am. Worship is what I do. Worship is who I am. We all say I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect thing. I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect in his eyes. And I stopped struggling and battling with the idea of what the enemy would try to do, because he tries to attack your mind. Because when he does that, he knows that he can attack your performance or just the way you show up in the world, right? But I quickly understood that, Yocairys, you were called for many things. You were called for a time like this, for a generation like this, and I'm saying that to you guys. I don't care how old you are, you could be in your 40s, 30s, 50s, 60s. Age ain't nothing but a number. God doesn't function on our clock. He functions on his own, and that's why he's always on time. And so for me, I just want to encourage you guys, number one, get to know him, build your identity in him. Because I personally know people, millionaires, billionaires. I've surrounded myself in different environments. The Lord has put me in rooms, and here I am, and I'm just like, financially, I may have less than this person, and they have it all according to the world, right? But they don't have the things that I have. They don't have joy. They don't have the peace that surpasses understanding. And not because they can't have it, it's because they don't understand their true identity. And so I just want you guys to just spend the next 90 days of your life just saying, you know what, God? Just create me a clean heart. Change the desires of my heart. Just show me a different way to just worship you, to honor you, and to get to know you. Just get to know him. When you get to know him and you understand him, you understand that he created you in his own image. So if he created me in his own image, that means that I can create with my mouth. That means that I can do things. So a lot of what I'm doing now in my life and where I'm going, I'm excited because I've always had amazing people, such as Crystal. She's amazing. But I've always had amazing people speak life over me, but for a while I didn't believe it. And so I started to believe it and accept it and receive it when I truly say, you know what, God? I'm all yours. I'm done fighting. I'm done running. Have your way. Use me as your vessel. But guess what? Sometimes the weight of the assignment is heavy. Y'all, whatever happened here earlier, that I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired. I'm already tired. And I'm not tired because I'm drained. I'm tired because that's what I came to do. I didn't come here to speak on a panel. No disrespect. I just know I was on assignment. And that alone just makes me feel so grateful because I'm not worthy of that, but yet he still calls me to do those things. And so I just want you guys to understand that yes, making money is cool. Let's get to the bag. Let's travel the world. Let's do it all, right? But let's not forget the purpose and the reason why we're here, and that is to glorify him and let the kingdom and his will be done on earth as it is in heaven through us. Let's not forget, let's not get so caught up in the worldly possessions that we forget that we got a kingdom to go after. Let's not forget that there is an assignment, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes we get so caught up here, and I gotta make money, and I gotta, hold up, Lord, your will, your bill. I'm here handling your business, so you finna handle my business. All right, so God, listen, y'all, last year, let me tell you a true story. I was making 20, 30K a month, right? Entrepreneur, doing my thing, Airbnb, credit repair, all that cool stuff. And last year, I started to notice a decline in everything I was doing. And I didn't take that as a moment to be scared. I was like, all right, God, you're trying to get my attention. Cool. I was just still for I was still for like 8 months. Even when I had my biggest event, I was going through. But guess what? In that whole time, God provided. I didn't have to worry about anything. Like, when I tell y'all nothing at all, people was just calling. Let me tell you something. When you are in the will of God, not when you're perfect, not when you stop drinking and smoking your weed. Yes, be obedient. But people think that, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go to the club, I'm good. No, if your heart ain't right, God is looking at your heart. What is your heart like? Okay, because listen, there's a lot of people out there who don't do those things, but their heart ain't right. I don't care if you wear your skirt to your big toe. Listen, your heart has to be right, okay? When you're in the will of God, he will make sure that he takes care of you, and he will make sure that things he would start to place your name in the heart of people, in the heart of man. And randomly, people would just call my phone and say, Yocairys, what's your Cashapp? And they're just blessing me. Now with $50, people were sending me $1,000, $2,000. Man, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm just saying that when you just focus on him, he got your back. And so I've always lived my life where I always do this. People say, Yocairys, well, how do you overcome adversity? How do you get over, a trying time in life? And I say, y'all, listen, think about it. You've been going, how old are you? Ma'am, how old are you? 44. Ma'am, you've been going through things for 44 years. So if you go through something tomorrow, guess what? You just gotta do this. This is what I tell people. Check his records. Check his records. He did it before, he gonna do it again. He doesn't change. Right. People change. He don't change. He's the same God every time. He's consistent. And so because he's consistent, I fear nothing. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, love, and of a sound mind. So it's not that I don't be like, oh dang, what if this don't work? It's not that I don't think about it. I just don't let it sit too long in my spirit. I be like, hold on, Satan, you can't have that. We're not doing that. And so just understanding who he is will give you the boldness to walk and with the authority that he's already given us, And so I just love God so much. Again, I'm here before y'all, and I ain't no better than nobody in this room. Like I said, I got a felony. I dropped out of college. I learned about entrepreneurship, and I said, you know what? Go to school, and I'm not against nobody with a degree. I love that. I think that's sexy, actually, right? A woman with a degree, a career, that's dope. But this is my assignment, and I had to realize, like, right here, I'm here now, and I told Coach, I said, what do you need me to do? Because I'm working. This is work for me. And for a long time, I didn't consider this work because it was a passion. I want to be a speaker. And like, I'm speaking on big stages now and all this cool stuff. And I realized God said, Yocairys, this is your job. Like, everyone has a different assignment, so embrace it. So I have fun with this. I enjoy it. And, once you get to that space where you're truly walking in your purpose, there's such a flow. It feels so effortless. And I just pray and wish that everyone gets to experience finding their purpose, because I think a lot of people think that their job and their career is their purpose. No, your purpose is connected to the kingdom. Right. And once you understand that, I promise you, you stop chasing after the overtime because I got bills to pay. I get that, but I promise you, if you take care of his business, he'll take care of your business. All right,
Let me tell you, we are also blessed to just be in the presence of so many dynamic women, including you. Give yourself something. I'm telling you, baby, you picked the cream of the crop. Do you hear me? It's just so many nuggets. Just when you were talking, I was thinking of so many different things, because we're talking about counseling, we're talking about different things that we've overcome, but you ended that so well, because at the root of it, just everything is about God. And when you're asking questions like, when do we do this and when do we do that? When we surrender. See those people that was leg crossed here? They didn't get up the same. I can guarantee you, I done been there. Stretched out. Right? Surrendering to God. He is when I went through cancer, so we had the pandemic, and I work in